Well, with the number of participants we have, I think we should get started. I want to welcome everybody to this meeting tonight to talk about the scholarship program for 2026-27, and welcome you all to joining us this evening from far and wide. We can go to the next slide, please. This program this program is at the heart of what we do. We've been doing this since 1988. And we have not had a year that we have not been able to award scholarships, despite pandemics and ups and downs in the economy, and other things. We have been able to award scholarships for all these years. And in 2019, we added the graduate scholarship program, which has been a real success and feather in our cap for continued involvement and engagement with brothers after their years inside the chapter house. This is a competitive program. We have a selection process that includes reviewing each and every applicant and reading the entirety of their application, not simply one or two factors. I think that it's one of the most intentional things we do in Psi U, and one of the wonderful parts of this of being a member of such an organization. And the committee is incredibly dedicated to this process, and a really wonderful part of having a number of people from different backgrounds from across the country and from different chapters is they come with objectivity and take real delight in working and getting to know all of our candidates every year. So we can go to the next slide, which is to say congratulations to all of you who are joining tonight as candidates. You are now the recipients of this year's scholarships, both undergraduate and graduate. In just a minute, I'll pass it off to Dick Rasmussen, who is the chair of the evaluation committee for a number of years. I won't say how many, but first, I want to pay tribute to the number of people that make this possible. We'll go to the next slide. You can read all the names on the slide, but I just want to call attention to the fact that we have also brought in a bunch of new members this year, folks from a variety of different chapters and backgrounds in different fields on both the graduate and the undergraduate committee. It represents an intention of ours to have this committee be a place where people can come, serve, and also then move on to different roles. It is not a commitment for life, but we are grateful for the number of people who have been a part of this committee, and also to the directors and the staff who really make this program operate. It is a multi-month process, about 6 months of operation, and we are grateful for everyone. Especially, I'll call attention to Beth Ann Taylor, our director of administration, who really wrangles this whole program and makes it really quite seamless on all of our volunteers. So a big thank you to everyone that is part of this, and hopefully you recognize a few names on this list from your chapter or from your travels. But we are extremely happy to be with you today and moving into our awards program. So with that, Dick, I will send it over to you for a readout of the program and announcement of the recipients.
Thank you, Alex. And I want to echo your words of thanks to the members of the committee for all the hard work and the careful consideration they give to every single applicant, both in the graduate subcommittee and the undergraduate subcommittee, and to Beth Ann for all of her hard work, helping us all, answering questions, chasing folks down. This process really wouldn't work without her efforts. You'll see in terms of the highlights, the recipients this year, we're making awards to 21 undergraduates, 7 graduate applications. We have an outstanding cohort on both levels. Average GPA, the undergraduates at 3.5 and the graduate students 3.85. The awards we made this year on the undergraduate side range from $1,500 to $5,000. Most of those are merit-based awards, but several of those are also take into account need-based. We make our first pass and make our initial awards on the basis of merit, and then we follow up that with consideration of those who have applied for additional need-based assistance, and we've been able to enhance those merit-based awards for those individuals. Our graduate awards range from $2,000 to $3,000. And for the 21, I should acknowledge also with our thanks, we had with our 21 undergraduate recipients, there were 54 brothers who wrote letters of recommendation for them, either current undergraduate members or alumni letters of recommendation. You'll see from this list the field of studies, our applicants and recipients covered the range of what's available to them within their college curricula, ranging from the arts and the sciences to engineering, medicine, healthcare, marketing, business, and both at the undergraduate and graduate levels. There are quite an array of fields of study represented. The class years, the majority of our recipients at the undergraduate level will be rising seniors. About half of them, they'll graduate in 2027. We also have several individuals who are receiving awards as juniors. And you'll see, looking at this pie chart, in the upper right-hand quadrant of that pie chart, you'll see that we have a range of class years represented among the graduate students, with individuals graduated in as early as 2021, and also this year several recipients who will be graduating this spring. So good representation, and we're glad that we're able to help people across the span of our membership. Now, introducing the scholarship recipients. From the Zeta chapter, we have Stephen Carroll and Amaruchukwa Nwaha receiving awards. From the Upsilon chapter, Devin Rosser. From the Psi chapter, Nathan Wildman. From the Omega chapter, we have Lane Painter, who's a recipient of the Louis Finkelstein Graduate Award. And from the Phi chapter, we have Zachary Koloskowski. And then we also have Leland T. Bronco, who is receiving the Greg Worland Phi 1983 Award. And this is the first time in several years that we've presented that award to an individual from the Phi chapter. On the Pi chapter, we have several recipients. We have the undergraduate side receiving the Robert B. Morey Award, Dino A. Borgi and Jack R. DePasquale. Also receiving awards in memory of Robert W. Morey from the Pi chapter, Cole S. Hashimi and Alex G. Torres. From the Tau chapter, we have a graduate recipient, Ahmad Hamo, receiving an award from the Fish Fund. And then receiving undergraduate awards, we have Ayomati O. Awalisi, Derek C. Ike, and Felix Premro. Two additional awards presented to members of the Tau chapter, go to Samuel L. Panetta and Gian D. K. Dingra. From the Theta Theta chapter, we're presenting an award to Marvin Shrestha. And also from the Zeta chapter, we have Lucas Rempel, repeat recipient, receiving Henry B. Boer Gamma 1930 Award from our graduate program, and also Reef Elakami from the Zeta Zeta chapter. From the Epsilon Nu chapter, we have Zain Abdel receiving an award, graduate award from the Fish Fund, and also Tyler Hahn receiving an undergraduate award. Two additional award recipients from the Epsilon New chapter, Charlie Herman, receiving the Persky Award, and Blake Woodrell also receiving the Persky Award in recognition of John Persky from 1985. From the Gamma Tau chapter, we have Tuna Ergun, who is a repeat recipient from the Gamma Tau, receiving the Henry B. Poor Graduate Award, and also Jackson G. Lee from the Gamma Tau Award, receiving the Eric Doodle Phi Beta 1990 Award. From the Epsilon Iota chapter, we have Kira M. Healy receiving the J. Russell McShane Award. And finally, from the Delta Omicron chapter, Ashton Zhang receiving the Earl D. Babst Iota Phi 1993 Award. I'd like to offer congratulations to all of our recipients.
And thank you, Dick, for a great job. I really appreciate all the work of that committee, the time, as well as all of the chapter corporation presidents and volunteers who do outreach and help with spreading the word about the program every year. It is oftentimes overlooked because of the idea that scholarship is really around only financial aid, but really the scholarship program at Psi Upsilon is one that is really about an honor and the commitment to to intellectual excellence at the core of what we do. This quote comes from a past president of the foundation, who, when I was being onboarded as a board member about 12 years ago, told me that really at the heart of it is a connection that recipients are bound to the people who have made these awards possible. Whether you have a named award or not, but especially those who have named awards, recognize that there are people, there are individuals, there are families, there are brothers of the same generation from that chapter that came together to formulate this corpus of money within the endowment of the foundation to honor the legacy of someone they loved, and a tribute to the career and to the life they led. And so I really think that beyond the financial support, which is wonderful and really something that we work hard to ensure and maximize, I also want to just ensure that you understand, or that I convey to you, that the importance of this is far beyond a monetary purse. With that said, there are now a couple of housekeeping items before we get to our keynote address. If we can move on 2 slides. So what's next? Very soon I'll just go through this very quickly, but soon you will receive more information about your award, as well as the details of the stipulations and the financial parameters that you will receive. Please get that signed and back to Beth Ann as soon as possible. There will be an announcement made publicly to all the brothers in the next upcoming weeks, in our newsletter. July is the Ann Arbor, Michigan convention, which we obviously encourage everyone to attend. But certainly let us know if you would like to come to that. We have some special ways to help scholarship recipients that want to attend. Finally, just so everybody knows, there are 2 distributions. There's one in the fall and one in the winter. Both of those happen after we verify that you are still a enrolled student at your university, both undergraduate and graduate. That's the same. There's the same verification process. And then finally, for graduate recipients, I just wanted to also remind you that you are offered and encouraged to attend the Social Impact Fellowship Leadership Retreat in Arlington, Virginia in January. You'll receive more information on that, but that is a great time for it's a 1 day retreat for personal leadership, and we hope that you would attend with our fellows, another program that we run for mid-career folks. So with that, if you have any questions, please do reach out. Beth Ann is your first source of contact of information and best contact. Anything else will be passed along through her to either Dick or myself. And once again, congratulations to everybody. And with that, I will turn it over, if we are ready, to Steve Susi. Steve, I would like to introduce you as a wonderful member and engaged brother of the Beta Alpha House to introduce our keynote address.
Thank you, Brother Senchak. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Psi Upsilon Foundation Scholarships and Awards Ceremony. My name is Steve Susi, Beta Alpha 93, Miami University, and it is with great pleasure I address you for tonight's ceremony. And for a little bit more about me, I may or may not be wearing pants. So I've been asked to introduce our keynote speaker tonight, and I want to start by saying on paper, Kyle Hogarth makes the rest of us look nothing short of lazy and disheveled. Professor of medicine at the University of Chicago, director of bronchoscopy, published in the New England Journal of Medicine, past president of the Society for Advanced Bronchoscopy. Oh, let me rephrase that. Founder, actually, because apparently being in the society wasn't enough. So he had to start one. And I know all that. And I'm really proud of all of that. And you should know that, Kyle. But when I hear Kyle Hogarth, my brain doesn't go to medical journals. No, it goes to electrical engineering. You see, Kyle and I were brothers at Miami. I was social chair, which meant I got one of the 2 front balcony rooms, prized real estate, until Kyle lived in the room through the wall behind mine with animals. And I don't mean a golden retriever. I mean he ran what can only be described as an unlicensed reptile sanctuary out of his room. Snakes, lizards, hot rocks, heat lamps. And because the snakes needed to eat, mice, live mice, the man bred whole colonies of mice in a fraternity house that was barely up to code and made of equal parts copper wire and kindling. Now, all those terrariums in this makeshift zoo hold a tremendous amount of electricity. So I'd wake up in the morning, flip on my coffee maker, and power goes out. And I'd shake my fist to the heavens and yell, "Goddamn zoos!" Then I'd go downstairs, reset the fuse, walk back to my room, turn on my stereo, and pop. "Goddamn zoos!" Even today, if my power flickers, I blame Hogarth and start yelling about zoos. A note on that room, which he shared with brother Tim Soltis. Kyle was always smartly dressed and deliberately presented, while Soltis usually resembled a man who just woke up under a bridge wearing one of his 7,000 alternative band tour shirts. Together, they formed the oddest of couples. Soltis, if you're out there, we do love you. Now, this isn't funny about the goddamn zoos, but it's just so Kyle. So one time I was walking into my room after class, and through his open door, I could see he was on his hands and knees, tending furtively to something on the ground. I learned quickly it was a lizard. It had turned yellow after suffering some sort of cardiac event. Kyle desperately attempted to save it by rubbing and gently pressing its abdomen and begging it to breathe. When he was unsuccessful, he was visibly devastated and in tears. The spirit of that lizard watches over 111 East Spring Street, Oxford, Ohio, where it's pushing daisies in the backyard to this day. Now, every Sunday night, we'd close chapter by passing the candle. When you got it, you could say whatever was on your mind. Most of us, myself very much included, just try to get a laugh or air grievances or talk about the next social event. But every single week, Kyle shared something thoughtful, something real and personal, something that made you think this guy's operating on a different level than the rest of us. And he was. He always was. He's a professor of medicine. He's published in every journal that matters. He was the first doctor in the Midwest to use the Monarch, a robotic bronchoscopy navigation system with 3D imaging technology built into a robotic scope that allows him to reach deeper into the lung than ever before to detect or biopsy nodules and masses. He saved untold human lives and extended their time on this earth with their loved ones. He was the team doctor for the Chicago Blackhawks the last time they won the Stanley Cup. I mean, he's done all that, and bro's been on a championship parade float before. I'm just saying. And 33 years ago this month, my senior year, he bought me a pair of concert tickets to the Ocean Blue Mighty Lemon Drops John Wesley Harding show in Cincinnati, for which I skipped chapter. And he did that just because. I will never forget that gesture and shall remain eternally grateful for Kyle's selflessness and generosity. He is a gem of a man. I'm beyond proud to call him my brother, and he's our keynote speaker. It is with great pleasure, honor, and humility I present Dr. Kyle Hogarth, Beta Alpha 94 Miami, to you and our celebration of scholarships and awards. Thank you.
Well, Steve, that didn't disappoint as expected. I think Steve's being a little too humble. Without a doubt, the best speaker within the Beta Alpha in regards to being able to provide humor and as you all just saw, I hope I can live up to these expectations now. This is incredible. So, it was funny. I'm going to be, when I give a talk. I give a lot of lectures, obviously, under the confines of my job, but in this particular case, I'm going to follow an advice that my lovely father-in-law gave me, and I know my wife Krista is on the Zoom here as well. And he taught me that there's three important things to remember when you're giving a speech of any kind, and those are the three rules of S: be sincere, be short, and then be seated. So I'm not going to be here for very long, and going to get some important messages across. But the theme, of course, of Psi U for Life. I'm going to start with just the briefest of fun stories. I randomly got a FaceTime call from Brother David Wright the other day, a couple weeks ago, because he was out with a couple of the other brothers on a trip from the Beta Alpha, and they were debating who was responsible for me becoming a member, or you could argue who brought me in, but who took me out for dinner that first night. And of course, the answer was David. I think others were refuting that, and the whole point is, you're always in this for life, including the random phone calls to argue and answer a bet. So to go from there, let's get down to business. First and foremost, I want to begin by congratulating the recipients of this year's scholarships and awards. I mean, your applications were inherently inspiring to the whole members of the committee. I mean, I think you saw that. I was on that committee as well. All of us, I think the whole point of this, we remember being at this phase of our lives, in that early stages of either both as an undergraduate or thinking of graduate school. And, the opportunities that each of you are about to undertake, it excites everyone because we remember being in that position, no matter what you're studying. That's not the point. It's both the age and the time and the undifferentiated place that your brain is and where it's headed. So we're just proud to be able to make that journey easier. I think that's one of the key things about your fraternity and about this organization in general, is that we're here with you to make this journey easier for you. And obviously the monetary help for your education, that's clear, and it's an obvious benefit to this scholarship. But I want you to truly understand the origin and the meaning of your fraternity's involvement in your education, because it obviously goes beyond money. The most beautiful thing about pursuing a degree is the knowledge that you get. It remains with you forever. You can't get that ever taken away, no matter where your career takes you, no matter where you go. And it's going to always open doors, even if that's honestly only a conversation about some random facts, but it's things that you've learned, things that you know. It's obviously going to be a cornerstone to help you in your personal and professional development and your careers in general. But it's that acquisition of knowledge that doesn't even have to have a purpose. So, one of the things, I work at the University of Chicago, and our unofficial slogan is that someone will say, "That's great in practice, but how does it work in theory?" And obviously, though that's a ridiculously silly statement, it really kind of highlights the spirit of what you want to always undertake when you're pursuing any form of more education. Is that the cornerstone of education being important is just the sake of having that knowledge, and that's it. It doesn't have to have a purpose. It doesn't have to lead to a specific invention or something else. It can just be knowledge for the sake of knowledge. Hence why it's important to know how it works in theory. And so you might ask, why would a fraternity itself invest in the members in this way, right? And that type of question becomes immediately obvious to all of us who've underwent too many years of education. Speaking for myself, way too many years of education. But that's what's gotten me lucky enough to be where I am today. And it's the support of people around me, and it's the support of friends and spouses, but also your fraternity. And your fraternity believes in education. It's a cornerstone of Psi Upsilon, and it believes in you. The committee that reviewed all these applications, this competitive award, and it believes in the vision that you outlined for yourselves and your own growth, right? You didn't just get this because you happened to fill out a form. You had to work for it. You had to convince us what your vision is, where you want to go, why this is so important. And again, that's what gets all of us excited as you read these applications. You see, a little bit of yourself in that as you watch what each person's writing. As you read what each person's writing. And so the bonds that have held you into this organization, they are obviously lifelong. It's not just going to end when you're an undergrad. It's not going to end 1 or 2 years after you graduated within your graduate school. And obviously, as a fraternity, in what world would we not want to support our brothers, right, in any way possible? So, it's a natural extension of Psi Upsilon that this scholarship and these awards exist, that this is a component of this. And I'm obviously honored to give this keynote address. Or I could actually say, to Jay Riemenschneider, it looks like Sayu's hit an all new low. But I appreciate I'm honored, and I obviously want to thank Sayu for this opportunity. And I do need to specifically thank Alex and Jay for allowing me to be involved with Sayu kind of at this level, not just as a speaker, but in the ways that I've been able to be re-engaged. It's been wonderful. And I know it's been wonderful for my wife. We've been able to go out for dinner with people and kind of touch base, and not just to walk down memory lane, but to just re-engage what everything about the fraternity meant. The thing that made me want to be a Psi-U to begin with. The vision of a fraternity for life, I suppose, that's the whole component of fraternity for life. It was something that was said to me as an undergraduate, but to be honest, I don't know if I ever truly felt what that meant, other than, I guess someday in the future, I'll see people or at alumni things or whatever, or, maybe at the time I was just way too focused on what was immediately in front of me or what, next weekend's party that Steve was arranging. But never really thought about it from a big picture. And part of that, of course, I think is age. And part of that is the busyness of where you are when you're an undergrad and an early grad. But, I've been eternally proud of what it's meant to be a Psi Upsilon, and I'm very proud of what it meant to be a Beta Alpha and what it continues to mean to be a Beta Alpha. This fraternity is different, and that's what attracted me to it from the very beginning. I'm proud of the ways that this fraternity has always been different and set standards of what it means to be a Psi-U, what it means to be in this organization. This now centuries-old connection that we all share is something very unique, and it should be cherished, and it should be nurtured, and that's why I'm so glad to be a part of it. So, as your life continues to move forward, as the award recipients who are on, in the pursuit of your education, in the pursuit of your life in general, just please continue to remain an active part of your brotherhood. Psi Upsilon will always need your heart and your time and your love. It's not about money. Sure, your college will take your money, so your undergrad. Everybody's going to want your money. But do you know what the Psi U always needs is more than your money. It really does need your heart and your time and your love. There's so much you can do to be a part of this organization at all times. This is the key component of what being a Psi-U has always meant. As said before, Psi-U is for life. And so I'm so glad that I got to spend some time here with you all. And thank you for this opportunity. So thanks so much. Good night.
Thank you, Kyle. This would be where everybody claps if we were not on Zoom. So please don't let the silence scare you, but wonderful. Thank you for that. So we have nothing left to do. We will give you your evening back, or your afternoon if you're on the West Coast. But what an awesome opportunity to get together yet again, as a brotherhood around intellectual excellence in the pursuit of academic work that you all are on. Kyle, Steve, Jay, Jonathan, Beth Ann, I am Tom Fox, who's I think with us as well. I just want to thank everybody on the call, all of the volunteers that make this possible, and say especially thank you to the donors who every year come through and make this experiment, 200 plus year experiment, possible. So thank you all and enjoy the rest of your evening.
So Alex, you said we have extra time. I can quickly pull up a few PowerPoints, give a few lectures on,
absolutely. Let's go into breakout rooms for that, and anybody can choose to join you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Bye now.
Bye.